started whispering my name. It was one of those ancient tube sets from the 70s. Big, heavy, dust-caked, the kind you find forgotten in abandoned basements or at garage sales. I picked it up last summer on a whim, thinking it'd be a cool retro prop for my quiet apartment. It produced mostly static and faint old songs bleeding through like ghosts. Until 3 nights ago. It was around 2 a.m. The apartment felt too still. Walls holding their breath. I flipped on the radio for white noise. Static hissed, low and constant, like distant rain on metal. Then a voice cut through, clear, intimate, as if someone leaned close to my ear. Not a broadcast, not a song, just a whisper. Sam, you're going to open the door at 3:17. My exact name. My heart slammed against my ribs. I laughed, nervous, forced, maybe a prank. Some kid with a transmitter nearby. But the room felt colder, smaller. The next night, same hour, static again. Then suddenly the speakers come to life. Walking down the hallway now. The lights flicker once, twice. You see the door at the end. It's not yours anymore. I froze mid-step. My hallway is long, fluorescent, always flickering at night, like it's tired of staying on. I got up, checked. Nothing but shadows. But the radio kept describing it. My footsteps echoing too loud. The creak of the 3rd floorboard. The way the shadows stretched wrong under the bulbs, reaching like fingers. I turned it off. Silence. Then, from the speakers, even unplugged, faint laughter. Like wind through empty rooms. I tried everything. New outlet. Batteries removed. Locked it in the closet under blankets. But every night, it found a way back on. Volume low. Patient. The whispers got personal. They knew the scar on my left knee from when I was 12. Bike accident. Stitches in the rain. The exact words I said to my ex the last time we fought. Words I never repeated aloud. The fear I buried deep. That sometimes, alone, the apartment feels bigger. Walls shifting when I'm not looking. Corners stretching. It said slow and calm. The void is patient. It waits for you to notice how thin the skin of reality really is. Last night was the worst. I woke at 3:17 exactly. Wide awake, no alarm. The radio glowed faintly. The voice wasn't whispering anymore. It was calm, almost kind. Come to the hallway. Look in the mirror at the end. My hallway has no mirror at the end, but when I stepped out, there it was. Full length, pristine, like it had always belonged. My reflection stared back, but it didn't move with me. It waited, smiled when my face was blank. Then it raised a hand I hadn't lifted. Behind it, the hallway stretched forever. Endless doors, yellowed carpet, fluorescent hum so loud it vibrated in my teeth. The reflection spoke. You've been here before. You'll be here again. The void remembers. It waits, and it's patient. I smashed the mirror, shards everywhere. The radio went dead. But this morning, the static started again. Faint. Describing this right now. What I'm saying, what you're hearing. If you're listening, check your hallway. Listen for the hum. The void isn't empty. It's listening back. Like and subscribe if this chilled you. The whispers are getting louder. I don't remember checking in. One moment, I was drifting off in my bed, the familiar creak of the springs under my weight, the soft orange glow of streetlights filtering through half-closed blinds, the steady rise and fall of my chest in the quiet dark. The next, I was standing barefoot on cold, matted carpet in a hallway that refused to end. Fluorescent tubes hummed overhead, harsh white light pouring down endlessly, never flickering off, never dimming to mercy. The air hung heavy with the scent of old rain soaked deep into fabric, layers of thick dust, and something sharper underneath, metallic, like old coins left to corrode in forgotten drawers for decades. Doors lined both walls, identical dark wood panels, brass numbers tarnished and dull, gold paint flaking away in small, brittle curls. They stretched into hazy vanishing points in both directions. No lobby in sight, no stairwell doors, no glowing exit signs. Just hallway. Endless. Infinite. The kind of place that makes you question if forward and backward still mean the same thing. My phone was still in my pocket, a familiar weight. I pulled it out. No signal bars, no clock ticking. The screen a perfect, unresponsive black, as though the device had never been charged or even manufactured. I started walking. Each footstep echoed strangely, too loud in the immediate space, then hollow and delayed, as if the sound had to travel much farther than the visible walls permitted before returning distorted. The carpet fibers snagged at my bare toes, sticky in irregular patches like something had spilled long ago and never quite cleaned. Every single door presented the same details. Faint scuff marks at the baseboard, identical thin scratches around the keyhole, the same tarnished number 317 staring back. I tried the first handle, ice-cold brass that refused to budge, feeling fused permanently shut. The next door, identical resistance, same chill. The air grew thicker with every step, stale and pressing, coating the inside of my mouth and throat like inhaling through stacks of forgotten linen left to molder in a damp attic. My pulse began to thud in my ears. Then, a whisper, so soft it might have been imagination at first, from behind the nearest door. My name, spoken gently, almost affectionately. It came again, from the door just beyond. Then the next, a slow, patient chorus building, encircling me like rising smoke, never urgent, never angry, just waiting. I ran. Panic surged up from my gut and clawed into my chest. The hallway mocked every stride, every 30 doors or so. The same irregular dark brown stain spread across the carpet, like coffee spilled years earlier and allowed to set permanently. The same overhead bulb flickered weakly, its buzz growing incrementally louder with each pass, as though the fixture itself was growing tired of pretending to function. Minutes bled into hours or perhaps days. Time had no edges here, peeled away to raw, meaningless duration. My breathing turned ragged, lungs burning. The whispers sharpened, reaching into locked corners of memory. Remember the night you walked away from her on the porch, rain plastering her hair flat, while she called your name one last time? The phone call to your parents, your voice so carefully steady as you lied about your location and your plans. Details no living person should possess. Exact phrasing, exact inflections, exact silences between words. The doors beneath my palms grew warmer, almost feverish, the wood feeling like thin skin stretched over something alive and pulsing faintly. One door eased open on its own, a narrow crack. Inside, my childhood bedroom exactly as I left it last. Bed unmade, lights extinguished, shadows pooling thick in the corners. Something in the far corner breathed slow and deliberate, rhythmic, waiting for me to cross the threshold. I slammed it shut with both hands. The hallway answered by extending itself, more doors materializing ahead, the hum in the air swelling inside my skull like the onset of a migraine that never quite breaks. I collapsed against the wall, legs trembling uncontrollably. The carpet softened under me, yielding, cradling my weight almost tenderly, like it had been designed for this exact moment of surrender. The whispers transformed. Now they wore my own voice, low, intimate, the precise tone I use when speaking to myself alone in the dark on the worst nights. No one would even notice if you simply vanished here. You're already nothing. Why keep pretending otherwise? Just stay, rest. It's easier. The lights dimmed gradually to a soft amber glow, then brightened again to a pristine, inviting hotel illumination. The kind that promises comfort, safety, rest. But now every brass plate carried my name, etched so subtly into the metal it appeared to have always been there, as though the building had anticipated my arrival from the beginning. I couldn't deny it any longer. I reached for a handle. It turned smoothly, almost eagerly, with a soft click. The door swung inward without resistance. Beyond, another hallway stretching identically. Same hum, same metallic undertone in the air, same infinite repetition. The void wasn't lurking outside these walls. It resided in the gaps, the liminal seams where one space bleeds imperfectly into the next, never fully connecting, never completing. It hungered in silence, for occupancy, for permanence, for a guest who finally stops turning handles. I have no idea how long I've been wandering these corridors. The whispers insist on eternity, calm and factual. They explain it without malice. I no-clipped one ordinary night, slipped through an unseen crack in ordinary waking life into the unfinished architecture behind reality. Hallways that link every place but lead absolutely nowhere. Elevators frozen between floors. Rooms constructed but never occupied. This hotel maintains meticulous records of every soul who lingers beyond their welcome. It borrows your features for the next arrival, your reluctant smile, your measured cadence, your most buried shames, and displays them like faded portraits along the walls. I catch the evidence in reflections now, brass knobs mirroring my face, but the eyes remain unnaturally calm, the mouth curving upward when my own lips tremble in terror. It is patient beyond measure. It waits for me to choose any door. Step through, and the corridor will finally conclude, but I will persist, recast as the echo that beckons the next lost traveler. The persistent hum embedded in the walls, the soft whisper behind every door, forever patient, forever remembering. If this narration is reaching you right now, pause. Check the hallway outside your room tonight. Listen carefully for the buzz that has no source. Notice if the corridor stretches just a fraction longer than memory insists it should. The void is patient. It remembers every detail you've ever tried to forget. And it's beginning to speak your name. The void never forgets.